Hey, Coach, first off, with the roller coaster of a night with Kevin, what is your understanding of his situation right now and his availability?
Uh, I'll try to explain this from what I know. I don't believe he'll come to Philly, but I don't think that he necessarily they've decided. It's just a contact tracing procedure, and I think that it's to be determined how much time he'll have to miss. But we're just gathering information still at this point.
With the game itself, what was most disappointing in crunch time and those crucial minutes down the stretch? What was most disappointing in the lack of execution that you saw?
Yeah, it's tough. They did it. Nick's a great coach and does a great job. Yeah, mixing up the game defensively. So we tried to keep it really simple. We missed some open looks, and Lowry made some big shots, and we gave up offensive rebounds and turned the ball over. And you add it all up, and they found separation in the last couple minutes. So just pointing close to the game, but we'll learn from it, and we'll get better by this.
Malik Andrews, ESPN.
Hi, Steve. To what degree was this distracting at all, trying to kind of juggle keeping up with all this information on the one hand? How much of it were you kind of trying to retain, and how much was it like, you know what, I can't focus on this with Kevin until after the game?
If I'm honest, I probably didn't handle it great, just trying to juggle all those balls, all the different information. What does it mean? I probably got a little distracted about thinking what it means long-term for our team. We've already been playing guys a lot of minutes, and if Kevin's not playing, are we going to run the remaining guys too many minutes? And so maybe I got a little bit distracted by the big picture, and but that's the way this year's going to be. We're going to be in and out of COVID situations and minute, pile-ups and all the difficulties that we're going to face this year, and it's going to be similar for everyone. So we just have to try to adapt and be able to bounce back from little setbacks like this. And unfortunately, we couldn't bounce back to win the game, but we got to be able to bounce back this next week and play well and keep getting better.
Ryan Lewis, New York Post.
Hey, Steve, I understand that this is ongoing and you're going through this now, but I mean, are you expecting a similar situation to what Kevin had the last time, or are you waiting on this calculus that the NBA has to determine how many days we're looking at?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I hope it's more of a to be determined situation than a situation where it's 1 week, quarantine or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I hope that obviously we don't lose him for the week, but I'm not sure exactly right now what's going to come of this. And I think we're still trying to filter what kind of information we can gather tonight and the type of parameters around the decision.
Laura Albanese, Newsday.
Steve, I was just curious, do you have some clarity in terms of what changed that allowed Kevin to actually get back in the game? Because I know the first test was inconclusive, but did anything change after that said, okay, now he's safe to go in?
I believe there was a bunch of, they continued to test to try to gain clarity. And I think there was, there was a positive test. There was, I think, a negative test. There was an inconclusive test. I think you add it all up. It was misleading for a moment, and that's why he was allowed to play. And then they continued to test, try to gather more data, and the last test was positive. So I think that was the final straw that pulled him out of the game. But I don't want to say too much because I'm not, my head's spinning a little bit from all the parameters of Kevin's situation, but also trying to coach our team in a shifting landscape.
Alex Schiffer, The Athletic.
Hey, Steve, I got two quick ones for you. Kevin was announced as a starter initially, and then it was scratch. I guess just how quickly what was the timeline prior to tip-off that you found out he wouldn't be able to start? And just have you been able to say anything to him after the game since it's all started?
No, I haven't spoke to him since the game. I think I found out basically as we were going out on the court as coaches, so a few minutes before tip. Yeah, I think that answers your question. Obviously, he was in a timeout in the third quarter where they, early in the third quarter where he was done for the night. So, I haven't spoke to him since then.
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, Coach, as it pertains to the turnovers, I mean, were those a byproduct of the Raptors defense, or those carelessness, a little bit of both, and then playing against a team that's so active like the Raptors on defense? Does that kind of reaffirm where you guys need to go on that end of the floor?
Well, we could always use more activity for sure. But they're an experienced group that's played together. Obviously won a championship with most of these guys. So they have that corporate knowledge and that collective experience. They could change defenses on us. And so part of it, you got to give them credit. Part of it, we just made some plays, that were careless. And the other part of it was we just maybe didn't finish our opportunities down the stretch. And Lowry made some really big shots. So, you add it all up and it's a loss, but a lot to learn from it.